What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tony Ortiz here, back again with another This Week in Brave Exvius here on January 18th, 2023. And we finally had a few things come out this week that bear talking about. We talked about them a little bit last week because, in the weeks we just kind of go straight to the news. But we're going to do a little bit of both this week. There's not much, but there's a little bit. And that's mostly because we had a live stream on Sunday. So I want to go ahead and take you through some of that. If you want my in-depth thoughts, my reaction, and my comments afterwards, that is posted as a separate video. It's already up on the channel, so feel free to check that out if you want more of like a couple hour long, dive into like what's going on with this and all that. But yeah, let's start with that first, the live stream on Sunday. And yeah, I just don't understand what the point of the live streams are. At least in the context of like doing things for the community that the community actually wants. I think that a lot of other games have this kind of figured out, right? So like plenty of other games have content streams where the community team or whoever will play the game with the community, and they will interact, and they'll do like the polls and the jokes and the trivia and all that, and they'll give stuff away and so on and so forth. Now that does happen in the Brave Exvius live stream. But what other companies will do, they'll also have real news live streams or developer streams, primarily led by people who work on the game. And, in this case, maybe the game's director. So like, Hiroki would be, here to announce something, on this particular stream. And maybe they do those way less often than they do the community streams, but they keep them separate. And that's so that people like, you or me or whoever who doesn't care about the community stuff can isolate the streams that we know are going to have the news that we want and only watch those and skip the rest, or vice versa. Maybe you don't give a crap about what's going on in the news and you just want to get in the community interaction. You want to talk to Justin and Tony, you want to answer trivia questions, maybe set up friend units with them or whatever. The problem is that they dangle the news into the community live streams, and maybe like 2 live streams a year actually have any kind of news. So they're going to be the ones where we're leading up to anniversary, the one during anniversary, and then maybe if there's a major collab that year, they'll have one that's big where they actually like give us more detail on the collab stuff. The problem is when they do a dev stream or like an actual news stream where there's a bunch of news in it, they don't give us any actual real information. They give us the same slides that we're going to see in game, which I'm going to take you guys through in a second here. We don't get any details, so like you don't get actual numbers on most things. Maybe you'll see the killer percentage on something, but you're not going to see like a cooldown or how many Magnus pips are on a Magnus ability and so on. Stuff that is actually really useful. We still have to wait for the data mine for anyway. So I mean, this one kind of just like pushed me towards never watching them ever again, and I'm probably just going to follow that because having Hiroki on, you think, okay, there's going to be a big announcement, or maybe the stuff that we're going to get for Lunar New Year is going to be like actually really good, and maybe we'll actually get really good details on it. But no, he was there at the top of the hour to play a stupid game of RNG, and then he left. And then we looked at the same slides that we looked at, for every month, where we don't get enough information to know if a unit's going to be good or not. We still have to end up waiting for the live stream or the data mine, and the live stream doesn't really serve a purpose. I don't know. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. And it wasn't like this. I used to have really liked tuning into them, but ever since this new crew, has come in and they really don't have the passion, I think, for the community the way that previous people did. I just don't see it. I don't see the point in engaging. I don't see the point in wasting time on a weekend night where I could be watching like sports or like Netflix or something instead, and playing the game at the same time. So I'm pretty much gonna basically blow right past them from now on, considering they add zero value towards the game. Like I can literally pull up the news slides 2 days later and have the exact same amount of information. Because we don't really talk about like free rewards or anything. I'm just gonna put them in the bin. So there you go. I'm done with it. It's a waste of time, and I'm done. You know, they need to like revamp or like basically like wipe their drawing board and then like, you know, start over. All right. So let's check out the units. Like I mentioned last week, we got Materia Hunter Yuffie with no buffs. We also got confirmation. The only really useful thing that came from the live stream actually applies to this. The buff that Cloud got, buff quote unquote, that gave him a morale skill was basically like a one-time thing only. They could do it in the future. They didn't say they were never going to do it again, but they definitely don't plan on doing it very often. Very, very, very special occasions only. So that means that your premiums that are going to come from JP are going to be dead on arrival for everything but Dark Visions. And they might be dead on arrival for Dark Visions, like Materia Hunter Yuffie is. Because she doesn't have any good damage outside of Earth damage, and there's no Earth Dark Visions for 6 months. So by the time she's going to be able to have the chance to go to a Dark Visions end boss, she's probably going to be power crept right out of the meta. So yeah, there you go. I mean, it figures that I would off-banner this one. But I've been talking to some people that have Clouds, and like I guess that Cloud doesn't actually really do a ridiculous amount of damage with that morale skill anyway, even though it's imbuable. His big boy damage that puts him at the top of the charts is locked behind his thunder damage. So even then, the buff that he got, I guess, was not as good as I thought it was. Because that skill that they gave him really just doesn't pull the weight you need to pull out of a morale fight. So I don't know. What are you going to do, right? This is what they're deciding to do. Gumi's on this train of, basically just trying to screw us all over as much as they possibly can. And, it's pretty obvious. I don't know what else to say really, other than like, just try to dodge every unit you possibly can that isn't game changing, and hopefully it'll be enough will still be released global exclusive that will keep free to play players able to play the game. At least like challenge for like top 2K in Dark Visions or whatever. The other unit was a free unit, and it was this guy, Sanan. He's also locked to Earth, all the same problems with Yuffie. You'll never use him. He does come with a bunch of quests though to get him free to level 130 to soft cap his stats, and to get you all the way to EX3 if you're willing to farm his stage. So if you come into the Vortex here, you're going to see this covert op stage. If you farm this stage over and over and over, you will get fragments for every run you do, and you can take this all the way to getting him maxed out. Now, is it worth the energy? I don't really know. If you're a new player, probably it's worth it because you'll have like a lot of free refills. You'll have a lot of extra energy. If you're mid game, if you're like rank 100 or higher, and like you don't get free energy anymore, and you're really struggling to like level up in Omniprism and Moogle and STMR all your units, I don't think I'd waste energy on this guy because you're just never going to use him in anything that matters. There is a Final Fantasy VII locked fight coming this week, so you could use him there. So maybe he's worth getting like EX2 and then stopping. There's all kinds of like middle grounds you could figure out for this guy to where he might actually be able to help you, maybe clear one of those fights, because his damage is going to be better than old units. It's just basically mostly locked to Earth, So if you don't have a Barret or a Cloud from the banner from before the year's end of 2022, and you don't have a Sephiroth DX3 that you're going to be able to crown, or you didn't get the free Aerith, or you didn't get the free Reno, you might want to just grab this guy and make sure you have him at EX2. I'll probably farm it out because I have so many energy pots, just because. And if we get a Final Fantasy VII rerun at some point, which I'm sure we will, maybe there'll be another locked fight that we want to use him in instead of maybe like Tifa or something like that. Although I don't know, now that I have Yuffie, I probably won't. Who knows? So yeah, there's him right there. There's his stage. It's very easy, and you can see there you get 3 fragments base, and then you get the bonus of 6 if you bring all plus 60 plus 30 event point units with you. And it's weird that it's not 10 per, because that would make it a nice round even way to calculate how much you need to farm. But I think I have to do, let's see, what do I have here? I've got He's EX2 already. And, okay, I already have 98. So I got to do, let's see, 8 more runs would be 72. And that would put me at 170. And then 3 more. So I need 11 more runs. So I need 11 more runs over the next week, which I've been doing about 3 or 4 a day. I've been blowing energy pots for my ore. And then, the energy that I build up throughout the day, I've been spending on that stage. So I'll get him EX3 and whatever. But he's really not that good. Like, he just doesn't really do a whole lot for you. He's SLB and he's only a damage dealer. He doesn't have any kind of like, he's got this. I don't know why he's got provoke. Is it something I have equipped on him? I don't know. Okay, I guess he gets this naturally, but so I guess you could maybe like evade him up or whatever. Do I have like is the Esper he's on have provoke? No. Huh. Okay, I guess that's part of his kit. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, I guess you could have him be your provoke tank and you give him 100% evade. But you'll probably still need somebody to cover. And if you don't have Barret, that's going to be kind of tough in the Final Fantasy locked stages. There really isn't a tank outside of Barret. Old Barret or new Barret, I think will work, but yeah. He's got this wind thing that doesn't do anything. It's like way worse than average. You can get a 135 from so many other sources. And then he's got this Reaper overbuff that's only 130. I don't know. He does have like these, interesting stuff here and there, but he just doesn't do enough. But definitely farm and get all of his items and stuff, and keep them just in case something comes along where all of a sudden Earth is useful. Maybe you can find a use for him. Anywho, that's it for the units. I just showed you his stage. We didn't get any fights. We got a raid. Hey, look, it's a raid. Oh, another raid. Woo. So you just click the energy orb, you click auto attack, and you win. And you get materials. Bring all bonus units. Wee. That's pretty much it. And that's it for this week, really. There's nothing else to talk about. So we may as well just jump right into the news. We'll go ahead and finish this fight up here. And we'll do that. Okay, so we didn't find, like I said, the only thing we found on a live stream exclusively that I already went over, and we're getting a new story event. Season 4 continues. No new gear though from the story. Keep that in mind. We are getting the ability upgrades for Reno and Sephiroth, so make sure you do these. Reno becomes a fairly tolerable breaker, which you will want for the Final Fantasy locked fights. He'll probably be your... I can't even think of any other Final Fantasy 7 breaker per se that you would actually use. So yeah, you'll definitely want him as your breaker. You're going to want Sephiroth as your capper. He will be able to chain actually as well with his upgrades. He gets some chaining abilities from other families that are chainable, as SR is basically not chainable. And they are going to give you his katana as well. So if you missed his katana or you haven't pulled enough of the 5-star base, or you couldn't upgrade his katana without being here for when they gave the enhanced sight out, I believe. So yeah, I think you have to have had him or his katana, or you have to have had done that last event to get the enhanced sight and have it laying around to make his katana. His katana is super power crept. It's only a +3 upgrade and not a +4. But they should be upgrading his to +4 sometime in the future. I think JP already has it. We're not getting it right now, but I wouldn't be surprised that if they give it to us when Deosis comes, so that way you are motivated to not only pull on Deosis, But like use the is Zach banner when we get it. Oh yeah, because Zach's up weapon gets upgraded too. So whenever that is, you'll get it. So I would definitely recommend with his katana making another copy if you already have one. If you don't have one, just make it. And I probably will even log into my alt just to make sure that I grab that. That I don't even play anymore, just in case I ever decide to go back and play it. But yeah, so grab that, and then upgrading the tickets. Who cares? The other main thing to talk about is the vision card that's coming from the step up. I'm not gonna really talk about Cleome too much because I don't give a crap. I mean, her card is gonna be probably good if this is 60 morale or better per unit, because then it'll be like having like 2 weapons equipped. But then again, like it's FEBE locked, so I don't know. This is the really interesting one. So this Blade Dance buff in the middle, where you get bonus damage against these 4 races. You reduce damage from these. So these are racial mitigation and racial buff. Now, once every 10 turn use, it doesn't say how long the buff lasts for, and it doesn't give you the percentages. So again, we don't have any good information, but this card could be one of the best cards that we've got since, say, like Dazzling Demoness, if this is like a high amount and it lasts for like 5 turns. Or it could be complete crap, dog shit, don't get it. And we won't know until Thursday. So, but I just wanted to point this out because definitely keep your eyes on this. Make sure you go and check out what the card actually does tomorrow. And then if it's really, really good, it's probably worth the 28k to get to it. It's got decent stats. And it's got 50 killer to 4 races on the card itself as well for FFBE units. What's important is that this ability is not locked to the FFBE thing here. So if this buff tab happens to be useful, you could take this into a lot of different things, trials and whatnot and so on. So keep your eyes on this, see how good it is, and if it's really good, you'll definitely want to scoop this up. The unit I think is totally skippable. Unless her buffs are like insane. Here, we'll just pull her up real quick. I don't really want to even talk about her because she's a huge disappointment, but where even is she? There, okay. Alright, so they decided instead of giving us an actual character from this series of the Lunar New Year to just give us a Cleome with Lunar New Year costume cosplay on. I don't know why. Probably laziness. Who knows? You'll need 2 more laps to pity her on top of the 6 steps for the card. And she's a magic damage dealer and a magic damage dealer and buffer. So no breaks, which isn't ideal. Considering, for magic stuff coming up, would be really nice to have a good magic breaker. She has, again, a weapon that is her STMR, which is a huge letdown. This could be useful for like other characters besides herself because of the 100% double hand. But it's one of those ones where like if you make 2 or 3 of these, you might get power crept and screwed like in a month or 2 when they decide to do this again. So I don't know about this. And then also like the stats don't look like crazy, and we have this like scaling killer buff that could be really good, but again we don't have the percentages, so we have no idea if it actually is any good or not. And we've got some of her featured abilities that are like they showed them to us on the live stream. There's like a fire resist, ice resist, and dark resist buff that is going to be there, and she's supposed to have support for at least fire. The thing is again, we don't know the numbers, and it's going to be very hard for me to believe that they're going to give her good enough fire support to be better than Sakiko. So like there might be a world where you take Sakiko and her, and then whatever, if she's got a really good fire and peril, if it's like 145, 150. But if she has the standard 135 fire and peril, you're not going to take her over Vaughn. And unless she has some kind of crazy high fire buff that's way better than Sakiko's, I don't think you're taking her either. Unless her damage is insane. So it's really weird with this unit. Like everything will have to line up perfectly. Like her damage is going to have to be top tier. She's going to have really good support. And you're still going to have to find room for her in a party because you're not going to leave Sakiko at home for fire fields. If she has support for ice and dark as well, then that changes a lot too. But we didn't get any of that information. So again, this unit could be an absolutely must pull, especially because it's limited time unit, depending on what the data mine actually shows us, or it could be absolute trash garbage and nobody should even touch it. We will not know until tomorrow when we actually see the stats, and that's sad because when you have a clash unit, especially when it's right after a live stream, you'd really like to go into it with like hype. You'd like to know that the unit's going to be really, really good, and they just don't want to give that information. So who knows? And then that's the wrong icon. That's where the news used to be. And then I think that's pretty much it for the news. There's not really much anything else going on. So there's the Clash. Oh yeah, there's Clash of Wills, obviously. Here's the boss. They gave us no additional information, so it's the same information we've had since the first of the month. Cool. Starts at higher morale, the higher echelon you are. Okay, neat. That's it. So that's it for this week. I will be playing some games on my Twitch after I'm done clipping this up and exporting it. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, if you ever want to catch this live, you can join me Wednesday nights on Twitch. The link will be in the description box below. And you can hang out there. I also stream on Sundays. Unless there's like a special event, like an AEW pay-per-view or something. And then I'll do afternoon instead of evening, to try to make up for that. We stream random stuff. So we're doing Final Fantasy 4. I might start learning Final Fantasy 6 pretty soon. For randomizers, we've got some other games. I've been playing Darktide lately. I've been playing some other stuff. So anything like that we might be throwing up and playing on Sundays, and then sometimes we do some bonus streams throughout the week. So if you want to join the Twitch and follow over there, you'll see all live content over there. And again, once again, I want to mention that if you do want to see my extended thoughts and my full reaction to the live stream as it's happening, that is already posted on the channel. So just go back a video and you'll see it there. And it's got a lot of strong opinions, so I would definitely recommend earmuffsing your kiddos on that one, or and so on. It is uncensored, so and I did not enjoy the stream. All right, so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys on the next one, and we'll hope for a much better week next week. Take care.